Hello! Welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Carolien and this is episode 66. You can find me everywhere online as Carolien. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever it works. I have an Etsy shop, carolien.etsy.com or colourfulcreativity.nl. And of course there is a Ravelry group for this podcast and my yarn. And it is the Colourful Creativity group. And you can find it in the group section on Ravelry. So let's see if I still know how to do this. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to all returning viewers. I'm happy you stuck around. I've heard from quite a few of you how I was doing and got some messages. So thank you for that. And of course, welcome to all new viewers. Happy you're checking me out. And I hope you stick around. Hit the subscribe button and you'll get a notification of every new podcast. Let's see if I can still do this. The hiatus I took was a bit longer than expected, but I'll get into it at the end with a personal yada yada talk. This episode will be long enough, and I guess you want to know what I did in the past 7 weeks. Well, actually I did a lot. I knit a shawl in about 3 weeks, which was a test knit for a wonderful designer. I really like her and I'm actually knitting something else by her. Paper Daisy Creations, which is Lisa Ross. I'm a big fan of her patterns, so but that test knit is still a little bit of a secret, so I can't show it to you. And I also have to block it still. But it's humongous and I don't know where to block it. I guess I have to do it on my attic floor. But, well, that one I can't show you yet. In another episode. Probably if I get back to my regular schedule, I can show it to you in 2 episodes. So for now, I will just show you what I can show you. First, I finished this one, and I know technically it's a hoe, but it's a sample sock, so it's a faux. All finished. I'm not knitting a second one. I knit this sock on purpose a little bit smaller than my own foot, and actually it still fits because, well, this is ribbing and it's so stretchy. This is the Halcyon sock by Dana Gervais. Well, the pattern is by Dana Gervais, and the yarn I dyed specifically for it is the Colourful Rainbow Donegal yarn in the colorway Spring Fling. You can see the Donegal bits in there, little tiny rainbow flecks of tweed. I will say I'm not a fan of 1x1 ribbing patterns because I'm just not that quick with it. Also, I still have to block it, so this will look a lot more neat when it is done. Also the flowers will come out better then. And I did the ribbing on the cuff a little bit different. I did a 1x1 twisted rib, and I did that because I like the more neat look of it. And all in all, this was a fairly quick knit in between all the other things I was knitting. You might think, what happened to Sock Madness, Carolien? Well, after the Sock Harbor socks, I think it was round 3, I quit. Next round was round 4 and it had a wonderful sock actually. It was a dragon all the way in there and it had leather back jacquard and it was so awesome. But my hands couldn't do the work. I had my shoulders up here and it hurt like crazy. Then all the shizzle I will talk about later happened also at the same week, and I was like, this is not giving me any pleasure, and Sock Madness should be fun to me, so I thought I'm gonna quit this whole competition. We had some amazing patterns after that. which I was like, oh my god, I want to knit those. But I was already knitting the test knit at that time. It was a rainbow shawl, that much I can say. So yeah, it was pretty easy. A nice mindful rainbow shawl that I wouldn't have to knit in like 5 days, and yeah, much more quiet and laid back for me. So I did knit a pair of other socks, because me and not having a pair of socks on the needles, that's just not happening. So I finished these shorty socks, Rose City Rollers by Mara Catherine Briner, and this is a test blend, a cashmere one, and it's really thick, and well, I knit it with 2.5mm GPNs. For those of you who saw the other podcast, I liked it. Yes, I like DPNs. They have to be Xiaogu though, and 15cm, but I liked it, and I'm saving up for a set of DPNs. I might even buy some at the wholesale store, so that I have a couple of extra and I can put them in the shop. So if you want a Xiaogu metal DPN set, let me know, I can order that. I have worn these and they are a bit too thick for summer, but they will be awesome in autumn, spring weather. We have crazy hot weather here now. Today is 28 degrees Celsius again, and that's why I'm recording today. I thought I'd better sit in a chair instead of walking around doing all kinds of things. I'm still dyeing yarn, so if you hear something weird, it's probably my dye pots clicking. And yeah, tomorrow it's 18 degrees again and raining, so I can dye yarn then. So these ones are done as well. And those were finished objects already. I'll be going on to the next segment, work in progress. And first, in my little grey girl cat bag, I already have a hole. It's not in there because it's so big. This is a sock for my husband, and it has no heel in it yet. I used a contrasting color for the toe, and then I knit up the whole 50-gram ball of yarn. And instead of doing a contrasting color cuff, I went with the regular one because it's already almost knee-high for him. It's not that he has short legs, but this comes up almost halfway to his lower leg. So I was like, it's long enough. I don't need to use a contrasting color. So it only needs a contrasting color heel now. I used up the whole ball, and this is the ball. It is pattern scrawl yarn, and this is the grey-brown marl with a little red in it, and you can see how it knits up. So just a couple of stripes alternating, and the second sock is already on the needle. Come on, I like you better this way. Though it doesn't work. Oh well. So I knit the red toe and then just one stripe. Well, you can see it's more, but effectively it's one stripe height. It's about an inch per stripe. And this is just a mindful knitting project. I cast it on because we planned to go to the cinema. But then we ended up not going to the cinema because it just wasn't handy and the movie was too late for us. We would have been home like midnight, and I don't like that. We go to bed pretty early because we get up at 6. So, or at least my husband gets up at 6. I wake up at 6. I don't get up with him. If we would do that, I'm not sure if we would be happily married still. I just get in bed and snuggle with the cats and maybe sleep an hour or two longer because I need more sleep than my husband. So that's my easy mindless knitting project. And then the other projects are not as mindless, so I have to keep my head in the game there. First, in my Colourful Creativity bag, I have an oldie. This is still my bunny top. And as you can see, I did a little bit. I think last time I showed it to you, I might have just split it, probably. I think this is where I was at, so I did quite a substantial amount. So I am working on the lace front side, and I do have to keep my head in the game. The back side is here together. I put a stitch marker through it because I needed this needle stoppers. Look, my cute panda stoppers. I really have to get some new ones, but they are currently sold out at Hiya all the time. Everyone wants them, I think. I need more than one pair also. I am knitting these on Hiya interchangeables bamboo in size 3.5 millimeters. Oh, I have to say I'm knitting that Pattern's Cry yarn on a 2.75 millimeter Hiya sharp needle because, well, with a 2.5 it's just too tight and dense. It's already dense with a 2.75 millimeter, but my husband likes that. He doesn't like to feel the ridges of knitting under his feet. So back to this one. This is the bunny top, as I told you, and on paper it looks like this. It's really pretty. The pattern is by Tin Can Knits, and I'm using Colourful Creativity yarn, so my own hand dyed, and this is Midnight Blue. It's a colorful lace that I no longer have. It is 70% merino and 30% silk. It's a lovely, lovely base, but yeah, lace is not something that really sells well, I think. So I decided not to venture out that way and use the yarn myself. And I'm really, really happy with how that top is turning out. And I really want to wear it this summer. But, of course, casting on or finishing that one first and then casting on a new one was a little bit too much for me. So I cast on a new project as well. The Tegna or the Tenya, how you want to call it. You call it, I call it Tegna. And this is by Caitlin Hunter. And it's a wonderful garment. It's a top, and as you can see, the sleeves go to here, and then you add sleeves, and you can add short ones or long ones, and I'm actually planning on not adding it and just doing a ribbing there, and then it's okay. So a very short sleeved one, because I am knitting this with a gradient, and this is Unicut. I also have this in my shop at home. I do not have it on Etsy because, well, with all the fees Etsy takes and I have to add tax, etc, etc, it isn't worth my while. You can just order it at Unicut seller. But I will be putting it in my Dutch shop, shop.carolien.nl, and I might be leaving Etsy as well because, well, if they are asking fees on shipping costs, I will have to increase my shipping, which I do not like to do for you guys. I have to see. I might have to increase that anyway because, well, I am under asking I should ask what I'm worth. I know I had that lesson, but still. So this is 50% acrylic and 50% cotton blend. I was like, I knit with that blend before on a dotted race, which wasn't very pleasant, and I now know why. It was the I-cord, and the I-cord doesn't have any stretch, or at least my I-cord, and cotton doesn't have a lot of stretch. So that was the whole thing that made it unpleasant. I have only managed to do this, but that's because these rows are never ending. These are really long rows, and with a knit 4 together, it was not that pleasant on my wrists. Let me check. I think, yeah, I have to do a lot more of those, unfortunately. Or at least 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows of knit 4 together still in the pattern to go. I'll manage. I'm not sure what the colorway is called. I think it is soft jade. And I'm knitting these on higher sharps, 3.75 millimeter. I'm using interchangeables because I can change my cord length. I now have the 100 centimeter, but I will be switching back to 80 or 60 centimeters just because it's easier. I don't have to move the stitches all the way every time, but I did it on the 100 so I could see if I had a twist in the whole thing. I don't think I have, but it's really difficult to see. So, oh well. Next up, I really have to stop casting on things, but let me get the pattern for you first. Oh yeah, my Technia top is not in a project bag because I leave it at home. I have to keep my mind in the game. I have to make sure I don't twist it, so it's not ready for a project bag yet. I just have it in my cart next to me when I sit watching television. Then, in my All About Yarn Doctor Who bag is a shawl. It is by Kingfisher Knits, who is Madeleine Windsor, and it is the Artemis shawl. It's not the best picture in black and white, but let me tell you, it is a gorgeous shawl. Here is a bigger picture. It's really pretty. It's actually almost the same shape as the test knit I did, but a totally different way of doing increases and decreases, which is fun because, well, I wasn't able to knit both shawls at the same time because I was starting to make mistakes for increases and decreases. So I just went with the test knit and was like, I have to focus on that one. But this is what I have done on the Artemis shawl. I am using the yarn I also used dyed for the Urban Ballerina shrug and the whole Urban Ballerina collection. There is this gray, the dark gray, which is Stealing Thunder. And then I thought it would be fun to get some minis. You need 5 minis, 5 contrasting colors. And I use these. They are partially from the Bright as Fuck collection, and the other ones are from the Urban Ballerina kitten set. And these 3 are bright as fuck. You can see that. It's highlighter yellow and blue eyes something. And this one is Sunglasses Please, I think. Then we have Mighty Minty and Raspberry Sorbet. And actually, well, I lost the yellow one. It's under my chair. As usual, things drop. It really reminds me of ice cream. I think this is a strawberry combination, and the gray really contrasts well with these. You could also choose a nice light speckle or something. I used that for the test knit. Actually, I can show the yarn I used. Let me organize some things around and show you what I mean. You could also use it with something like this. Like a really mild speckle, as far as you can say mild to a rainbow yarn. I will talk about this one later. So yeah, and well, this is a 3.75, I think. No, a 4mm higher sharp. Not interchangeable because, well, I don't need to change sizes. It's a fairly enjoyable knit. I have to change now again to the lace work. You can see in this section you do garter, contrast and lace main color, and then I think after the biggest point is reached and you go down, you do it the other way around. You do the lace with the contrasting colors. So let me see. I can get my yarn back. No, I can't. Oh well, cats are sleeping next to me, so I don't think they will steal my yarn. Let me swivel this around. No, I'm stuck. There they are. Enjoying the sun. Oh yeah. They do enjoy the sun. So if someone got a little motion sickness, I just wanted to show them to you. You haven't seen them in a while, I guess. They've been really bad, actually. They've had a lot of fights. They're both missing a lot of teeth now. I think I told you last time. And since then, they weren't very friendly with each other, especially Binks not to Leia. And still, he can be a royal pain in the ass. But now he's just lying there with her, peacefully happy. And I just think, well, we just have to let it go, let it happen. I still have one whip to go in my little grey girl unicorns bag. Oh, I'm so happy with this one. It's so beautiful. In here is the pattern I mentioned before. This is the Impossibly Possible pattern. I hope you can see that. It's a really nice one. I always print out my patterns in black and white, well, almost always, because mostly it doesn't need any color. It has a slip stitch pattern, and this is called mosaic knitting. So you do 2 rows with one color and then 2 rows with the other color, and you slip certain stitches. Of course, this is a bit tangled. Don't know why my needle is a curly mess now, but I managed to do the toe, and the first color is already done. I really like it. This gray is also from the Urban Ballerina collection. It's Colourful Smooth Sock in the polished concrete colorway. It's actually the original colorway for the pattern designer. If you missed the Urban Ballerina shrug, it's by Stephanie Lotven, also known as Tellybean Knits, and it's wonderful. The yarn is in pre-order in my shop, but most of it is already dyed and ready to ship, so you don't have to wait that long. With this one, I'm using my leftovers I have from the test knit shawl. I think you can see why I was drawn to that shawl. It's so rainbow. Yay. I really love this. I use this one, Ciclamino, and the other ones are still coming. Oh, that blue was Bright Eyes. That was the name. Jeez. This one is Blue Lagoon. That's why I remembered. All the yarn is Colourful Smooth Sock. It's a lovely base. I really love knitting with it. I thought Colourful Soft Sock was my favorite. Well, it is probably for sturdy, nice, warm socks. But this stuff, oh my god, it's so versatile. The shawl I knit is so nice and drapey and a little bit thinner because there's also some stockinette in it, and it's really flowy and it's really, really beautiful. I wish I could show you. And I think after blocking it, it will be a little bit thinner, even, and a really nice summer shawl. Yeah, what to tell you about this one? I am knitting these on Haya Sharps 2.5mm. Usually I would go with Smooth Sock to 2.0 or 2.25 because it is a light finger. But since this is mosaic knitting, I was rather trying to be on the safe side because my last year's mosaic knitting, that was my first try. It was not stockinette version, but it was garter version. Yeah, those socks didn't fit. They were totally not my cup of tea, but these certainly are. And I'm really, really hoping they're not on the big side because I went to the amount of stitches that I thought was correct. I think one smaller would be too tight, so maybe my husband is lucky and gets these socks, but we'll see that if I progress a little bit. And with that, I have all my whips. Yay, almost half an hour, so yes, there was a lot to show you guys. Then I have some awesome things to tell you. That Halcyon sock, I actually have some patterns to give away. So I have 2 copies of this pattern to give away for 2 lucky winners. Yes, I still need to weave in the end. I know, you know me. And also, let me get my notes. I want to get this right, and let me get a sip of iced tea. This is homemade iced tea. I just make some tea, green tea, so 80 degrees Celsius, leave it to cool, add some water. Sometimes I add some agave syrup. I'm not sure if it's agave, but you can also add honey or sugar if you want, but I like that stuff. Well, I don't like that stuff. I don't like sugar. So I use the agave syrup, and it works like a charm. And this is even without sugar. Very nice. If you use a green tea with fruits, and especially the sweeter green teas, because they have like peach or raspberry or something in there, you have enough flavor and you don't need sugar at all. I put it in the fridge and leave it there until it's gone. I added some ice cubes, but they are gone. And I added some fresh mint leaves from outside the garden. Yay! So, the other giveaway, I told you about the brand new book Tickle Pink by Cici and Demi Alman last time. And I totally forgot to tell you that I can give away a copy. So, if you want to win a copy of the ebook Tickle Pink, then let me know which pattern from their ebook you like the best. And as a other prize with the same answer, you can win the Halcyon pattern. So 3 lucky winners. And yeah, I hope you tell me which you would like to knit from the book. And I will link up, of course, in the notes on YouTube where you can find the ebook. Also, of course, we have the coupon code of Frogpeak Creations, valid this whole year, or actually probably not ending. I think she left it open. It's Colourful 15 and it will give you 15% off on anything you buy from Frogpeak Creations. And I know she's really busy making a lot of bags, and I think her shop is very well stocked at the moment. So, and then the big question, of course, was I a good girl or was I not? And did I buy a lot of yarn? Let me put this aside. I can tell you I was a reasonably good girl. I actually forgot some yarn. So no, I was a bad girl. First, I think it's safe to show this, but if you haven't gotten your undercover order Clan of Igors from May 2018, look away if you don't want to see it. Yes, I mean you. If you are still looking, please look away if you don't want to see this. Cover your ears, walk away, do something else, because here it is. This is the Clan of Igors, May 2018, and I really love it. I picked the squirm base because that's my favorite one, and because I also have that base in my assortment as Colourful Soft Sock. I was like, yeah, that's just perfect. So I got that one, and that was not all I got with the shipment. I have it here. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. In these cute bags, they awesome. There was a very nice stitch marker with a little otter. God, show it. I think you can see it. This button, Neon is my neutral, in orange. Yay! And I also ordered extra I think they are called lace locks, and they don't ship very well. Knit and pearl. Oh, let me see if this helps. I think so. And they are really awesome. I still have to put them in my shoes, but I wanted to show you, and it's easier to show it like this than in my shoes, of course. So that is that. First order of undercover order. Well, I don't have to wrap it anymore because, well, it's already, I think June is already shipped. Not sure, but I think so. And I didn't get June's version because it was grey with yellow. She always gives an an inspiration photo. And that's what I really love, because I'm not really one for diving in with something I don't know. I'm looking beside me and I will get to that later. But usually I'm not really one for surprise colorways. But with an inspiration picture I can totally tell if I like it or not. If I would have gotten it, I would be totally happy because it probably would have combined perfectly with this one. But I'm just not a great person. You know me. So I thought I'd treat myself to this one. It's been on my wish list for ages, and yeah. This is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And this is also Squirm Sock. There you can see it, Squirm. And she actually stops dyeing these. These are discontinued, so I was like, okay, I have to get it now. Like, now. So, 2 times undercover order. And then we get to the whole surprise part. This came in today. If you are in the Classic Society by the Countess Ablaze, or by Countess of Blaze, not the Countess, well, the Countess, of course. But if you are in that for June and you don't have your box yet, look away. Walk away, skip this part, come back later. You don't want to see this. You want to open it and have it as a surprise. I read her newsletter and she said it was a sock blank and a skein of sock yarn, which was to me like something yes, that I like, sock yarn. And I took the plunge after looking at all the other awesome stuff. And first there is a booklet. There's still time to walk away now. So there's the booklet. Now comes the nice stuff, so be gone if you don't want to see it. This little thingy, I still have to open it. It's a little, yeah, let me open it. That's silly not to open it. It's a little jar, and I think I will just put it on my table and put my stitch markers in here. That would be very handy, I think. And now we have the yarn. I went for the 2 yarn box, 2 yarns, whatever box. This is the sock yarn, Lady Persephone sock yarn in Lapis Lazuli is the colorway name. I really love it. Look at those details in there. And that blue is perfect lapis colored. I really like it, though blue is not my most favorite color. I really like it. And then there is Divine Procession, the Classic Society shawl blank. I think she only does sock or shawl blanks in her in the Classic Society box and not in the shop. But yeah, this blue is of course also in here, so you can totally combine it. But look at the inside, it is a rainbow. I didn't take it out yet because I was like, I can never get it pretty again to show it on a podcast. But this is a single knit shawl blank with glitter. There's glitter in here. Shawl blank done. I don't have to, I just have to weave in an end. Make sure it doesn't unravel. Oh, I like that. Oh, it feels really good. This is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina. Yeah, that's really pretty. Oh, I like it like this. I will put it away so people can come back watching. Nothing to see, please move along. I will put it in the box again. So that's what I got. This was my pity gift for like the whole past weeks. And then there was more yarn. I saw that out of the corner of my eye on the table. I was like, oh yeah, I ordered that too. Oops. So here it is. 2 skeins of wonderful MCN sock yarn. So merino, cashmere and nylon. In the colorway Honeycomb and Neverland. And these are by Aya Fibers in Germany. I ordered these because I really liked those colors. I also like them together. I think it's a really pretty brioche project, probably. And she had a sudden death in the friends around her, and they needed some money, so I was like a good Samaritan and ordered some yarn, so she had a part of that money go to the cost of the funeral. So yeah, Really, really nice and so terribly soft. Part of me wants to knit a pair of socks of it, and part of me thinks, oh no you don't. You do not knit socks with that. It's only 10% nylon, so it would probably be better to use it for a shawl or something. But I'm looking for a nice brioche shawl with it, then I might, yeah, something intricate or something. Maybe I will look at the patterns I have from Nancy Marchand, or Marchand, how you want to call it, pronounce it. I always think it's French, but I know she's American, so yeah, I guess that's all the acquisitions for this time. Oh no, I see what I missed. Yeah, I've been a pretty naughty girl. I have a pin craze at the moment. So I ordered pins from Twill and Print. I saw this one and I needed it. The future is female in a TARDIS. I love it. I can't wait until the new season of Doctor Who starts. And I also ordered the Yarn Bomb stitch marker, and I have a Yarn Bomb pin here. I thought it would be a cute match. And this one was really the cutest I'd ever seen. Just one more and then spin it. It really spins. Let me take it out. See, it really spins. It's so cute. So those I got from Twill and Print. Then I have this one in Rainbow Sock from Rick Rack. And I really, really like it. And I have this one. And I forgot where I ordered it. It was on Etsy, but I will put a link, of course, in the box with the show notes. Let me do it like this. Life is one big whip. And I think that's true. And that also makes me come to the more personal stuff, I guess. We're not perfect. We're a work in progress. And I found out that it really was a depression I suffered since October. But it was also one that was not from now. It was from when I was a teenager. If this doesn't make sense to you, I can understand, but maybe I can help someone and maybe it does make sense to you. We all have patterns in life and ways to cope with things and mechanisms, etc. When I was a teenager, I thought I had to be the one that makes my parents happy. I had to take care of them. I had to take care of the whole family. Well, me, my dad and I had to be non-existent and just carry the burden for the whole family on my shoulders to make them happy. That didn't work, of course. My parents were magically happy because I took it all. But because of everything that happened with Robert in the hospital and all the other medical issues with my grandmother and my mother and stuff, I put it all back on my shoulders and I slipped back in the pattern and way of coping I did when I was a teenager. Not good, I can tell you. So it wasn't a winter depression, it was like my teenage self feeling her awfully self again. I tried to commit suicide, but I was too scared. I found myself with a knife in my hands in the kitchen, and then my mom came back in, so I put the knife away because I was just, I cannot do this because I am responsible for my parents' happiness and I cannot leave them without me. I am too scared to cut myself, frankly. yeah. This also comes from destigmatizing the whole taboo on depression and mental health issues. I went to my psychosomatic physio therapist. She's really good with these kind of things, and we did a family thingy where you put dolls instead of yourself and then your other family members. It's like, how would you put them now? So I was there and they were leaning on me really, really hard. So we put them in the right order, how it should be and how it should feel. And well, you can see me. I'm not this anymore, I'm more of this. And yeah, it feels a lot better to give it all back. 2 days later, my mom went sick. She had an awful lot of pain. We had to go to the ER and all. She got morphine. We had to take her into our house. It was really not the best time to do that, but it was the only time it happened. It was a good thing I had that whole session before it, because I could cope with it better. It was difficult, I will tell you that, but I'm still here. I'm still feeling a lot better, and I can still handle things and leave things at my mom that are not mine. It's not that I'm not there for her. I still care for her. I still do stuff for her. It's just I don't take it home. I think that's the best way to say it. That's just like work. If you have your own company, your work is 24/7. You cannot stop it. If you have a very, very big feeling of loyalty or yeah, I can't find a word. I mean, but I think you understand what I mean. The right way if you work for a boss would be if you go home, you leave your work at work and you don't work from home. That would be good. Good for your mental balance and work, private balance, etc. And that is what I do now with all the things of my mom. They're hers. I cannot solve them. I can just be there. So that is how I got to handle things better. For my grandmother, I pushed through. She got an alarm button on her wrist now. Finally. And that's going okay as well. She's way better now. My mom wasn't able to take care of her, so I had to do that for my mom. Groceries, getting meds, going to the doctor with her and the hospital, etc. And also for my grandmother, I had to do the groceries and taking care of things for her so that she could stay alive, so to say. Just the day-to-day life stuff my mom always did for her. And my mom is now picking up again, and she just did too much. Her back is kind of bust. It is just worn out. The discs between are gone. That's the medical things for her, and that's why she had so much pain. And with physiotherapy, she is getting better. It will never heal, but she's having less and less pain, and she even started working again this week, so that's good. So I started working again last week, which means I can show you yarn. Yay! I have here a newish colorway. I had this colorway in mind for a collaboration with a really lovely designer, and that collaboration was okay, but life happened, and then I was looking for a nice color for my shawl to combine with the minis. The minis I had from dyeing the Urban Ballerina collection, etc. And I found this in my stash and I was like, I think I'm gonna use this because it's exactly what I need. It is a light rainbow speckled yarn. And you can see big splotches in knitting that knits up really pretty. There's just an occasional stitch then, like you can see here. And if you can see there's bigger parts, but if you knit that, that's just really pretty. More like that. I have it in soft sock and in smooth sock. Smooth sock is also the base for the minis. I will be knitting more scrappy socks with this one for samples, and these will actually go in the shop really soon. I'm thinking this week to do a shop update. I would have Quirky Rainbow, because that's the name of this one. It's really nice, light, airy, quirky, happy rainbow. And then I have a test skein here, which I can see because it's labeled as a test skein with this little thingy. I used to do dye baths labeling with that. Maybe you saw what Countess Ablaze did a while back. You know, I got that skein of yarn. If I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. It is the most amazing name for yarn I think there is. Every time I hear it, I giggle, and it's so true. We cannot work for exposure alone. We have to get paid, and if people don't recognize that, I'm sorry. But no, the answer is no. There were some things happening with that. A dyer dyed almost the same colorway while she was seen earlier knitting with the original. So the Countess thought, what can I do? And instead of burning her down, she thought, I can make this such a big positive twist. It will knock everyone's socks off. And it did, actually. It is really awesome what she did. She decided to give away the colors in the yarn and make it a real big tits out collective. So everyone can dye their own and make it their own version. It will launch at July 1st, and everyone has to donate £3 or their equivalent to a charity of choice. This is my, if I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. This is my test skein. So I did this on a BFL base. I have some single based thingies around that I use for testing colorways. I have another one, and I really didn't like that, how that turned out. But I love this one. It's a heavily speckled version. I am dyeing on smooth sock and soft sock again. At the moment I have 6 ones in my dye pots. And 6 ones outside already drying. I will be donating my €3.50 per skein to the Dutch Knitted Knockers Foundation, de Breiboezem. The name was too good not to combine this with knitted knockers, tits, knitted knockers. Yeah. Because if you have knitted knockers and you want exposure, you can get your tits out. Easily, actually. So I will kick this up and knit a pair of knockers with these. It will be amazing. I have seen a lot of people donating their profits to the cancer research. I have seen many dyers who are joining. I think there's over 100 people joining. There's also bag makers, notions makers, designers. Lots of people are in, and this is gonna be so cool. It's just amazing what people can do when they put their mind in and they turn it around for something good. So absolutely hats off to Countess Ablaze for that. So that is July 1st. I'm not sure if I will be back before. I hope so, but I don't promise anything. I have plenty of these too. I think I have 20 in total. Because I already dyed them for Das Bunte Schaf. Ah, I am out of iced tea. My throat is really dry, so I'm gonna make it a short ending. This shop update I will do on Friday. I will say that now, and I will promise that to you. It's not just Quirky Rainbow. I also have Club Tropicana back in stock, and I have a special one that is new and limited. So they're all in a box because I couldn't see it anymore. I just put it aside with everything happening. Yeah, I guess we'll just cut this one off now because I keep rambling. I will see you back next time. And don't forget about a giveaway. Let me know which pattern you would like to knit first in from Tickled Pink, the brand new ebook by Demi and Cece Elman. So, see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye bye.